Alright, so I'm putting the volume down on the radio. I'm recording this because I'm going to update my about soul food in every platform, and I feel like I need to vocalize this just to get like a well-rounded perspective of what it is that I want to do, what it is that I want my platform to do for you, for everybody that listens. And I keep coming back to the word community. The word community, the word growth, and the word evolution, obviously, which relates to growth, but I feel like both of them they can be taken for different things. Evolution, growth, community, self-love, self-respect. This platform is for all creatives, or all people, all young people that want to be creatives but are standing in their own way. As a creative myself, and as someone that stood in their own way for a long time, the only thing I have to say to you is, please start. I beg of you, just please start. You have no idea what waits for you on the other side of that dream, on the other side of finishing that song, on the other side of starting that book, on the other side of launching your podcast, on the other side of being an artist, painting, on the other side of whatever creative platform that you want to do. The resources, the people, the connections, the interviews, the money, everything will come. Trust me, everything will come. Not only that, but once you start truly vibrating and like growing in that creative space, people come out of nowhere. People that, and I say this all the time, people that you wouldn't expect you yourself to have connection with, you meet them and it's like you picked up where you left off. So anyway, my creative space is for the creative that's, again, in their own way, the creative that's doubting, the creative that wants to know more people like them. My biggest struggle was feeling like I was the only one going through this stump in life, and it's not the best lens to have, although it did make me grow, and I learned how to be by myself, and it was pretty cool because in that time alone you realize who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what you're willing to accept, and what you're hoping to find in new people. So that time alone is crucial. Although it is hard, it is crucial. So the first step is just to become self-aware, and then from there everything else will follow. Yeah, I want every single person that is putting out art to feel like it's okay. It's okay to be me. It's okay for me to draw this way. It's okay for me to think this way. As long as you're not hurting anybody or yourself, what you're doing is fine. As long as what you're doing benefits you, yourself, and others, what you're doing is fine. As long as where you're trying to go and who you're trying to be will also benefit yourself and others, what you have planned is fine. At the end of the day, money and jewelry and just the clout, the cars, the homes are nothing if you have nobody to spend it with, nobody to cherish it with, nobody to brag about it with, and what better than to have genuine people all around you. So that's why I'm building this platform, because there's no doubt in my mind that one day I'm going to make it. And with the bread and the resources and everything that I acquire, I will put those around me on, because there's no point in having resources if you're just going to keep them to yourself, especially if they can benefit others, and especially if you've crossed that road that so many people are trying to cross themselves, and you just keep those gems and those lessons and the connections to yourself, you are taking away from the community. And therefore, if the community doesn't thrive, how do you expect to thrive? It's for everybody. There's enough to go around for everybody. And that's another thing that I want you all to understand, is that other people's success does not take away from you. There's enough to go around. There's enough money to go around. There's enough resources. There's enough platforms. There's enough. Stop thinking so poorly. What you think is what you attract. So if you're always looking at the negative, and if you just say, oh, if I only just get 10 subscribers, this many subscribers, or oh, if I could only just beat her, be careful what you wish for, because at the end of the day, that's what you're wishing. So you're only going to beat her, or you're only going to look better than him. But then guess what? The next level requires you to be better than her or him. It requires to be better than you. So always keep that in mind. Always. And get yourself right. Get yourself right. Get yourself right by creating habits and being loyal to yourself. And if you say you're going to do something, do it. Build that trust within yourself. And it sounds crazy to speak like this. I understand, because when I first heard this, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I trust myself. Like, I'm cool. Why would I need to build that relationship with myself? But to be successful in your plans and your habits and everything, you need to be honest with you, and watch what you're feeding yourself, and holding yourself up to that pedestal, and really realizing and being conscious of, what am I feeding me? Why am I feeding this to me? And could I better this process? Could I better my mindset? Could I better the circle around me? And once you realize the steps that you can take to get better, you're going to get uncomfortable. But growth only happens in that discomfort, and it's important again. So the first step, or the second step, or whatever step, however, I believe the first step you should do is to get yourself right. Because once you're right, it's like a domino effect. It bleeds everywhere else, and you start choosing things differently, because you realize who you are and what you're willing to accept and what you want. I went off on a tangent, but anyway, that's what I want soul food to do for you. That's what soul food has done for me. That's what soul food has done for those that are closest to me, and they tell me all the time, and I can't believe it sometimes, because I've written this down in every notebook that I've ever had, and the feeling that I have is exactly what I wrote when I started this journey. This is exactly how I wanted to feel. So that's also another thing that I suggest you to do. Get a notebook and a pen and make it a habit to write. Write what you want. What do you want out of life? My mom told me this when I was a kid, and I heard this in a speech as well. Life comes and passes through at the middle of the night, and it looks at what you've done. And if you have a list, if you have a goal, if you have whatever, it looks at it, especially those writings that you have, and it, that's why they say be careful what you wish for, because it goes through and it reads exactly what you ask for, and then a shift happens. But you have to be conscious to notice it. You have to be aware at all times of what's around you, and it takes an effort to be aware, because you're no longer just going with the flow. You're being present in the moment and realizing what's going on. So it's exhausting, but it's necessary. Make sure you ask for exactly what you want, and don't be light-handed. If you want to be the best writer, write that down. Make that your goal. if you want to have 50,000 saved up by the end of the year, but you don't want to write 50,000 down because you don't want to be upset with yourself at the end of the year, it's okay. Write it down anyway. You're not in control of what may happen in the future. Just get your habits right, budget yourself right, and stay loyal to the process. And if you say you're not going to spend that much money this week, do not spend it. Because guess what? You're going to let yourself down. And I addressed this already. You need to set yourself up to where you can feel like you can trust yourself so that you can begin and stay on your process. Don't be afraid to ask for what you really want. Because there's so much out there. There's so much abundance. There's so many resources. And you all deserve a plentiful life completely. This is my goal. I will somehow listen. I will listen to this and then one way or another come up with a good summary and post it everywhere. But I'm probably going to post this as a freestyle, whatever, of me. I just got out of work. It's 5:07. I just pulled up to my house. My car is on. The air is off because I don't want it to interfere too much with the audio. And I'm tired. It's been a day. But I have a goal. And if it requires me to work after getting out of work, then I'm going to do it. Let me be your example. And because I can do it, you can too. And you can probably do it better than me. Why? Because you've probably dwelled on this way more than I have. So you have the plan, now execute it. All right. That's pretty much it. Thank you for listening. When I reach 100 million listeners, I want somebody to come into these old files and expose me again and tell me, oh my God, remember when you were recording in your car? Remind me of the sweet times, because these are sweet times. When you begin, those are the sweet times. All right. Thank you for listening. That was cool.